Hey there, welcome to or welcome back to No Pants Profits. My name's Richard, still sitting here with no pants and hopefully making plenty of profits. And I've got a rare late night upload for me. I usually wait till the next day, but I wanted to bring this to you as quickly as I was actually able to find it because today we are going to be talking about the Ark Venture Fund and Kathy Woods. Kathy Woods actually adding some of ARKK's investments into the ARK Venture Fund. Now, why I'm bringing you this right now is there's a catalyst tomorrow morning, the morning of October 7th. There's going to be a catalyst, which I'm going to be watching on the Meet Kevin YouTube channel. That's going to be talking about a job report and whether or not the Fed is going to pivot, is going to stop being as hawkish and be a little more dovish, and that could be an interesting time to buy the dip. So it's kind of interesting that as of today, and I say as of today, Kathy and her team over at ARK Invest decided to take some of ARKK's biggest names and put them into the ARK Venture Fund. Now, this venture fund was always designed to have private companies and public companies inside of it, and those private companies will be late stage, so likely to become public in a few years' time. But Kathy just went ahead and added a whole bunch of public companies. I want to quickly go over these public companies. Now, of note, they have not yet funded these public companies. Kathy and her team show what they have funded at 8 p.m. every evening. So at 8 p.m. every evening, they actually adjust their weights and they show everything that's funded. Now you can see this on ark-ventures.com/funds and ARKVC, or you can also see this in the Titan app. So the same information is in the Titan app as well. Something that is a little bit concerning to me, and I have a message out to Titan, is that we're not in public companies yet, and I went in earlier this week and I'm already down 26 cents. I put in 500 bucks here, and I'm down 26 cents. I have a message out to Titan. As soon as I get an update there, I will make an update video, because why is the NAV moving when the stocks aren't trading? But you'll see these 5 stocks right here are what we've talked about already. Well. So we could see market cap, we could see, mega, large, other thing like that. It's really cool that it works this out. But guess what? Kathy has added some names that I think most of us will know. Maybe one or two are a little weird, and we'll have to figure out what they're doing. If you go to ARK Invest and you hit on public here, you can see the public companies they've added, and I want to show you in the app. You can see that by clicking holdings as well, right in the ARK Venture Fund section. Now again, you'll see in ARK Ventures, ARK Ventures, is currently holding 37% of cash of what's invested, and they have the most money in Freenome and about 10% in the other things. So, they're big betting on Freenome, but there's some big companies have entered the chat, and you can kind of see them up there. DraftKings, Coinbase, nvda, and we're going to talk about them. We're going to take a look at what they do. Some of them you will know. Now, Block, some of you may not be familiar with, and it's actually kind of interesting that we've got two interesting related parties in a little thing called Twitter right now, if you know what's going on there. But Block, also known as Square, is a payments company, and it's mainly, it's, if you've ever had a Square device, this little thing you plug into your phone. Great thing about Square, as of like a week ago, you can now Square to Square with iPhones without needing a device. So you just tap one take one phone, tap it to the other, and bada bing, bada boom, maybe. And wherever, take one, tap to the other, and it'll work without needing any hardware. So Block has gone from having hardware, yes, they still have the Square registers and things like that, to being a fully software company. You can now use any iPhone as a register with literally no additional hardware needed to take mobile payments. You still do need hardware if you're going to take credit cards, but, we're almost a cashless society, and we're almost going to be a credit cardless society soon enough. Block, great company. They literally have not invested yet, and I think that's interesting. They've listed these companies, but they have not pounced. They have not put the money into these companies as of yet, and this is the evening of October 6th, 2022. Now, Block Inc., run by Jack Dorsey, who used to run Twitter, and it's really interesting in both the payments and the crypto space. Yes, they make POS card readers, and they have analytics, payroll. It's kind of an all-in-one payment application. Now, the next one, DraftKings. Now, what's interesting is all 12 of these are, getting near a bottom for the last 12 months. So it's it's kind of an interesting time to potentially be looking into making a purchase here. So they're getting into a bottom. DraftKings operates sports, entertainment, and gambling company in the United States. Now, they don't operate in all the states. Let's just see if we can pull this up real quick so you can see your state. Google, what states DraftKings Sportsbook? Where is sports betting legal? So they're not in all the states yet. I know they're not in Florida, which is where I am. But we can see, okay. You can see the maps right there. So DraftKings is growing. It's a sports book. That's really what it is, but it's a big sports book. It's a big name in sports book. Then we have Unity. Unity is kind of interesting because Unity kind of goes hand in hand with Epic and Unreal. It's kind of a good partner to be in along with Epic and Unreal, and it's another software company that makes interactive real-time 2D and 3D content for phones, tablets, PCs, augmented reality. This is in the VR, AR space, really emerging, really cool stuff. And then NVIDIA. NVIDIA makes chips. They're a chip maker, they're a card maker, they're a graphics maker. They're what makes the stuff behind Epic Games and Unity and the Unreal Engine and everything like that actually tick. It's the hardware behind the software. So it's a nice thing to be really kind of diversified in there. And then another one of Kathy's large investments is Coinbase. Not my favorite crypto exchange. I'm more of a DeFi bro myself. But, Coinbase is an exchange that exists. They've gotten in some hot water recently. They've gotten out of the hot water. But they're still one of the biggest exchanges in the United States. One that's a little bit weird. So Coinbase. It's going down recently with the price of crypto. But if crypto does a U-turn and turns around, it may be an interesting place. Then Roblox. They make a Roblox client that makes 3D digital worlds, Roblox Studio. The company also provides Roblox Cloud, and it is mainly a company that makes video games. If we go to their website, what they do, they make video games. This is what they do. Roblox on your device. If we want to log in, we could see what they actually do, but they sell gift cards, and they make all kinds of different video games in a transactional market. Another one, this one I'm actually quite familiar with. It's in the video space, kind of like a Netflix, other stuff like that. This is Roku. But what Roku does is Roku's actually focused on hardware first. They made a device just like an Apple TV or one of those other devices that you plug into your TV. They, again, were focused first on hardware, but are now focused on software. So they actually bought the ashes of, I don't know if any of you ever heard of, my favorite, worst streaming service ever, and I say that non-sarcastically, Quibi. If you know Quibi, Roku bought the ashes of Quibi. And, they made a lot of the stuff available for free. There's a Weird Al Yankovic movie coming out that's on Roku that's available for free to stream. So think of it kind of like the free-ish Netflix that also makes money on hardware and is going to be a more robust streaming service in the future if they do focus on their content. So they're kind of a baby in the streaming service world. Next up, we've got one that was a darling at one time, but has now kind of... Shopify. Shopify could do no wrong. During the pandemic, Shopify could do absolutely no wrong. And Shopify is in the same spectrum as Block. It's kind of a point-of-sale system, but so much more in Block. Block/Square was more in the physical world, and Shopify is more in the digital world and digital payments and things like that, and shipping and all those other things. And then we've got one. It's the big monkey in the group, the one that needs no introduction, Tesla. Now we all know what Tesla is. It's a company that makes factories. Everything else they make other than the Gigafactory, that's extra bonus on the cake. It's a company that makes factories, and what's really cool is they did just announce that as of December 1st, Pepsi is going to be getting their first semis. They literally announced this tonight. So this is actually kind of really cool. This is setting us up for if we have a jobs report that's bad tomorrow. I know it's wrong to wish for a bad jobs report, but we need to see the unemployment go up, because we've got something called a wage price spiral, meaning employers have to pay more and more and more money for people to work. Therefore, the price of everything else has to go up in the surrounding area because people are being paid more, supply and demand, people can buy more stuff. So wage price spiral, we got to get that out of control. And the way to get that under control, is really, really honestly, truly, is seeing unemployment actually go up. Now, back to Tesla. Big animal in this group, biggest market cap in this group by far. And they make cars. they make power storage systems, and they make semis that they're shipping to Pepsi as of the 1st of December. Pretty simple, and they might have a lot of pressure off of them because the Twitter deal might be coming to an end. Who knows? If I'm betting, I don't think the Twitter deal is going to go through, but I like Twitter. I like Tesla. If you're not following No Pants Profits on Twitter, at No Pants Profits on Twitter, post some interesting stuff there. Next one, Twilio. Twilio is voice calls and SMS in the cloud. It's easy to take calls and send text messages. What are they generally doing? What is Twilio generally doing? Now that's a big broad thing. Twilio is used in the sales field to manage calls and text. Twilio is kind of a tool that works along with Salesforce and other CRM systems to kind of reach out and get you sales contacts and everything like that. That's where it's really used. It's used in SaaS and the CRM world, but it's an interesting one. And then we've got one, I'll be honest with you, this next company, actually, we'll leave that one for last. But yeah, Twilio's in the SaaS space. And we're going to leave Uipath for last, because I'll be honest with you, I don't know what Uipath actually does, which is kind of interesting. Zoom. We all know Zoom. We got stuck during the pandemic in Zoom. Zoom's gotten hit because people have left, people are now going back to this thing called The Office. I know, it's not just a TV show. The Office, not just a TV show, a physical place you've got to go. Now, Zoom has gotten hit really hard because as people go back to the office, Zoom's not getting as overvalued. Hey, look, I'm happy we don't see Peloton in this list right here, to be perfectly honest. But we all know what Zoom is, used worldwide, big company. We're going to take a look at where all these companies lie on the spectrum of where they are in the last year to see if this is a good entry point. And then we've got the last one, which is called Uipath. End-to-end automation platform that has robotic press systems. I kind of want to look at Uipath. Let's see what they do. Uipath is an automation platform. We are Uipath. We make software robots, so people don't have to be robots. Whoa, okay. So they make software robots. Let's just see what they even do. Uipath. Let's go on YouTube real quick, because, again, every other one here I think we're pretty familiar with. So, Uipath. What is Uipath software robot? Let's take a look together, because I don't know what it is. Whoop, you might not be able to hear what's going on there. Let me fix that real quick. All right.
People and this is a robot. This is a robot. And this is a robot. Robots take the tasks that can be performed by people and make them more reliable and efficient through automation. Uipath makes software robots, and through robotic process automation, or RPA, people can use these robots to be more productive, more engaging, and more human. Let's walk through a quick use case to see a software robot in action. The Uipath Assistant sits on an employee's desktop and is loaded with automations to improve personal productivity, create departmental efficiency, as well as streamline company-wide operations. In this example, I'm a wealth manager, and I'm preparing my weekly portfolio updates for my customers. When it's time to perform my customer prospecting, a reminder pops up and prompts me to start my IPO filing outreach. This is a process that checks recently filed S1s and extracts officers and directors using machine learning. The process begins by asking me to select the date range for the S1s that should be pulled. In this example, the robot works in parallel to me using picture-in-picture, a feature that provides the Uipath Assistant with a perfect copy of my desktop, allowing me to continue my work uninterrupted. While I continue working on my updates, I can watch the attended automation run, or I can minimize it. Once the companies are identified, my Uipath Assistant notifies me and gives me options on how I would like to review and connect with prospects. Because I selected manual review, Uipath Assistant launches the Uipath Validation Station, so I can see and confirm the exact entries from the S1, Remember, I may only have one shot at this introduction. In the final step, the process has checked to see if the extracted contacts exist in Salesforce and Marketo and gives me the option to choose who I want to reach out to. It has also created draft emails for me to review and confirm. I can also see the newly created contacts in Salesforce and Marketo. Our automations are industry agnostic. Whether you're automating a process for individual consumption or enterprise-wide usage, Uipath has you covered. Visit us at uipath.com to learn more.
All right, so Uipath, what do? They make automation software. They make automation software. That's what they do. Very similar to what's shipped on Macs for many years. There's a program called Automator that's actually shipped on Macs for so many years. And I can create an Automator file. Show you this right now. This is shipped on Macs forever. And if I wanted to make a workflow and have a workflow do something, or set a calendar alarm, or have an image capture plugin, or convert images, or do stuff like that, what they've done is they've made that automation work for businesses, and mainly work for Salesforce. Again, this and Twilio are really in the CRM space, which is the symbol for Salesforce, which I wouldn't hesitate to see added to this in the future. It's a little late stage, it's a little big, but it's still smaller than Tesla. So what Kathy's doing here and her team are doing is they're kind of picking things that work with Salesforce and the way Salesforce actually works. Now, one thing I want to do is I do want to take a look at where all of these fall in the last year or so. So let's just take a look. We're going to go to DraftKings stock. Let's look at the last year. Look, I mean, that's a cool thing. We're getting in near the bottom as of right now. Who knows what the bottom's going to do if, Russia does something crazy or energy runs out or different things like that. But, we're getting into the bottom of DraftKings, which doesn't have a huge market cap, $7 billion market cap. I mean, relatively speaking, not huge. But we're just trying to see that we're getting into everything near the 1-year bottom. Coinbase stock. Let's look at the last year. Near the bottom. nvda stock. Last year. Near the bottom. Again, I get these alerts every day saying things are at 52-week lows, so I just want to make sure. Roku stock. Last year. Near the bottom. Unity stock. In the last year. Again, near the bottom. Zoom stock. Which is kind of an interesting one. We'll look at the last year, but I want to look at the last 5 years. Just to kind of show you something. You'll see, Zoom went on a roller coaster. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I can't sing. Then we got Twilio stock. Again, this has been the whole market getting pounded by inflation. Tesla stock. Last year. Not as deep of a dive as some of the others. Block stock. The company formerly known as Square. Last year, last 5 years. Again, this is Kathy's formula. These companies went up during, and Shopify, you're going to see. Let's go to Shopify stock. Again, last year. But you'll see during the magical illness, they went up there. And the fundamentals of a lot of these companies have not changed. Roblox stock. It seems like we're seeing the same thing over and over and over. And last is Uipath, which makes robots, as we learned, or digital robots, workflow automations, and different things like that. You can see the past year and the past 5 years. Well, that one's just on a nosedive, but I think it's only been around for about a year. Yeah, that IPO'd April 23rd, 2021. That's why the last year and the last 5 years don't look that different. So that's a real buy the dip on the Kathy's end. Now, So what are we talking about? So remember, now we've got these 12 stocks plus the 5 private companies. Now, as of right now, which is Thursday, October 6th, 2022 at 10:17 p.m. Eastern Time, but realistically at 8 o'clock 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Sometimes Kathy buys after hours. As of right now, we're not invested in those stocks yet. I think that's the important thing, is we're not in those stocks yet. Now, tomorrow could be a perfect opportunity to essentially buy the dip right when the Fed capitulates. What I will feel very interested in, and I'll do an update, is I want to know when we actually buy those stocks and what price we're buying them in. I mean, as a collective whole, when we actually buy them. But it's very interesting that a lot of the stocks that are, long-term Kathy picks in the ARK fund are right here, right now, ready, and we've got 37% of cash ready to invest in there. So the Titan has not disclosed how much cash they have already, but I'll tell you, their competitor Sweater they said they have about 20 million-ish that's ready to invest, and they're about halfway deployed right now in the Sweater Cashmere Fund, and I have a feeling that Kathy's weight pulls a lot more weight right here. But it's kind of really interesting. They added these stocks today. I don't believe, given the information here and the information here, information on the phone app and the information on ark-ventures.com, I don't believe that these have been purchased yet. But tomorrow, the 7th of October 2022, right after that jobs report, which could be essentially a disastrous jobs report, right after that jobs report could be a very interesting time to really buy the dip and see if the Fed is about to take a U-turn. If you got any questions on any of these stocks, want me to do a little deeper dive on all these stocks, I will do it in the long run. But this is Richard from No Pants Profit saying, when you invest in all these stocks and you're wearing no pants, all you got left to lose is your shirt. See you around, and I'll bring every single one of these companies that ARK invest in their Ark Venture Fund brings around. Have a great one. Bye!